it's because we're playing well too. Like, give us a little credit and give us a little respect of our name. I think we've been respectfully earning that respect. So I think that's what kind of fueled the fire, because we were getting really upset. People were saying like, oh, just teams weren't performing against them. Like, no, but we're performing. We have that standard for ourselves. So why doesn't the league see us at that point?
We are joined today by Orlando Pride forward Allie Watt. Thank you so much for joining us, Allie.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I think I want to start like with this snapshot of a moment that you and the team are in this week. Undefeated, season going incredibly well, tied for top of the table with Kansas City, all the way down to like goal differential, with a huge match coming up this week, right? This is like probably the marquee regular season matchup of the entire NWSL season. What's the energy in the locker room right now, coming off another really nice win in LA? How are things feeling? What are the vibes?
We're feeling amazing. Like, we are coming off this win from LA. We're happy to be back in Orlando. We've had 2 away trips, but now we get to rest for a second, get back on a plane and go to Kansas City. First of all, we're just really excited for the facilities and to play in that stadium for the first time. First all women's soccer stadium. That's going to be iconic. But also the fact that we'll be playing another undefeated team that we've been matched up with on top of the table for the whole entire season. So we're pumped. Like, that's the best way I could put it. We are pumped. We're ready for this game. We've been anticipating this game, so we're ready to go.
Incredible. Well, the atmosphere is going to be crazy, right? You know that going in. Again, like you said, that the fan base is known in Kansas City. That stadium is so nice. I've been in it. It's like this intimate thing where the fans are kind of on top of you. It's going to be loud. What does it feel like being the away team in that situation? I know you're no stranger to those big, you go to Providence Park, you've been to those big away games, but this is going to feel like, or is it going to feel like something new, or do you guys feel prepared for this?
I think we're prepared. Well, we just came back from LA, right? They have record-selling crowds. It's so loud on the field. I remember warm-ups, my coach trying to yell something to me, and I just had no idea what he was saying to me, but we figured it out. But it's just, we're prepared for it. When it's nothing new to us, I think it's just going to be a special moment to be on that field, obviously, but like, we're going to treat it like it's any other game, be ready, prepared, how we need to prepare for it. But really, I'm excited to see the stadium.
Yeah. I think at this point, I would personally say, like, there's no underdogs in this matchup, right? These are 2 teams who have been consistently at the top of the table all season. But when you think of it bigger picture, and I know you know this having been with Orlando for a couple of years now, this has been a slow build, right? I think you guys finished the end of the season really strong last year. I think quietly put together one of the nicest kind of second halves of the season that we saw from a number of teams last year. And then this year, all the pieces come together. Yeah. Is there still sort of an underdog mentality, though, within this Orlando Pride team, even just based on like maybe you didn't think that others expected you guys to be where you are at this point of the season?
Well, just going into it, I just remember that we did have this underdog mentality of just more so we were like starting season strong, right? With a lot of ties, we were still undefeated, but we would always just hear people saying like, oh, the other team just didn't perform. The other team's not living up to the hype. I'm like, no, but we're like, it's because we're playing well too. Like, give us a little credit and give us a little respect of our name. I think we've been respectfully earning that respect. So I think that's what kind of fueled the fire, because we were getting really upset. People were saying like, oh, just teams weren't performing against them. Like, no, but we're performing. And I think that's the part that really kind of got us mad. And our Kylie Strom even said that in one of our what's it called, like our speeches before a game. She's like, let's earn that respect, because we have that respect. We give ourselves that respect. We have that standard for ourselves. So why doesn't the league see us at that point? And now obviously now we're at this point in the season, we're like, no, like, you're right. Like, we do have to respect your guys' name, because we have been building this since last year. Last year was hard. It was a rebuilding year. A lot of new things were coming to play. It was Seb's first year and with us as head coach. And like, we're just learning, we're growing together. And just now all that hard work we put in last year in the offseason to now, it's really showing. So I think that's just like the part we're just like, we're happy we're finally getting that respect to our name, because we feel like we should have had it for a little while. But like, now we're proving ourselves, even though we feel like we have for a while.
How do you maintain that really nice cohesive balance in a locker room? You've brought a lot of players in. There's been a lot of change from last year to this year. But one of the cool things, at least from my vantage point of the Pride, and you're a huge part of this, is it also feels like even the players who were already there last year are taking that next step forward. Like you say, maybe even growing with Seb Hines as a head coach. How do you maintain that balance of there's a good internal maybe competition level with new players coming in, but maintaining that healthy balance of no, the entire team is going to step up from here?
I think we just all have really understand that every single player in this organization, this team, coaching staff, medical staff, front office line has a huge role in the success that we're having right now. And we just buy into it 100%, 180%. All of it is committed to it. And I think just like we're rooting for each other so much. Yes, we have inner competition for roles, for playing time, obviously, but we are here for this ultimate, the same goal. And we're on the same team and we're just going to push each other to be better. If that person's starting, then I want to make sure they're ready to be starting. And that's the mentality we're going to have. I think that's the culture that we really have had pride in. Had pride in.
Had Orlando, would you say you have Orlando pride in?
We have very Orlando pride in. Yeah. And so I think it's just, we are really just buying into like all or nothing with each other. And it also just helps that we have an amazing group of girls. Like the chemistry in this team locker room is amazing. It's unmatched, I think. And so it just makes it kind of easier for us to like honestly just always be rooting for each other and always to be each other's cheerleaders, whether you're on or off the field, depending on whatever role you're going to have. So I think just knowing each other's roles and just buying into it 100% no matter what is what's really kind of helping us be where we are now.
And how nice is it to see that hard work pay off? I mean, I think everyone kind of points to, you know, Barbara Banda being able to come in when she came in. She's had immediate success, but it's whole team success. When the team plays, you talk about the draws at the beginning of the season. It felt like so much of that was figuring out those on-field processes that allow a player like Barbara Banda to do so well in front of goal, or a player like you in the front line. How nice is it to have that solid team even just behind you physically on the field and know that that buildup is happening cohesively and that the system is working?
It's amazing just to have that support behind, because we could depend on each other, every single person on the field. Like our back line, I don't think they're getting much credit. They need more credit. They haven't, they're least conceding back line on the whole entire league right now. They're solid. Training against that back line every week, you guys, is so freaking hard, and they're pushing us to be better. We're pushing them to be better. And so now we're finding this foundation. We have a solid identity now, and I think that's what we were building up last year. And now at the beginning of the year, obviously, like, it's hard to come out of preseason and like actually playing games now to like figure out that identity. And now it's like pretty solid concrete. And now we just want to keep building off that. We have a good foundation now, but now let's just add more layers, keep adding more layers, add more to our attack. Let's be not just a 1v1 team. Let's now like pass through the lines, breaking lines. Transition is a huge part for our team. Yeah. Especially with the pace we have up front. Barbara's, I call her a national treasure in my head, but she's unstoppable. She's like scoring any type of goal. You can't just stop her. And then if you try to stop her, we have Adriana, we have Marta. Like, what else are you going to do? So we have such a dynamic front line, but just a solid back line as well. And that's just, all the pieces are finally just like coming together. But with that, we still have to keep going because we're only halfway through the season. It's only July.
I know. How fun. I mean, this is just sort of a like personally out there. Do you have moments where you're just like, I can't believe this is the team that I get to combine? Again, you're combining with Marta, with Adriana, with Barbara Banda. It's like an international all-star team. How fun is it just to get to go play football with those players every day?
It's just fun. Like, I just like, we're like back to a time now where like, you're just like, I play soccer because it's fun, right? That's why I play it. And so now we get to see the combinations that we're doing and like how competitive we get to be at training. It's just continuously like a good time. Obviously we're serious when we're doing the scouting, when we're doing what we need to do for our 11s, for our build up and shape and everything like that. But if you like ever see like the film from us training or just like us messing around, it's seriously just pure joy. And I think that's what we have in the locker room. It's such an amazing uplifting attitude we had in the locker room as well. And it just translates to the field and it's translating to results. And so I think that's just like kind of like a good balance we've been finding here. It's just finding like, we are serious when we need to be, but we're always also just like never losing the fact that we enjoy the sport.
And finding that mix, finding a club home in Orlando, you are part of that 2020 draft class that's so talented. Obviously, you look up and down at that first round. So many impact players that came into the league in that year. You did not get the rookie season that you were anticipating in numerous race, right? Like, you know, everything shuts down. And then I know you struggled with that ACL tear in that first part of your first part of your career. How, looking back on it now, having the season that you're having playing the part in it that you are, does it feel like for you, because you were in North Carolina, you went to Seattle, and now you're here in Orlando, does it feel like all of those experiences are sort of culminating in the comfort level that you're feeling with this Pride team?
I think just like, obviously I didn't have the rookie year I wanted, but like, would I ever take it back? No, because I think I've grown so much as a person. And then have I been bopped around a little bit in the league? Yes, but I think it just kind of really like helped me become a well-rounded just person, period, but also just like player and just a lot of exposure to a lot of different cultures and atmospheres at different teams. Like I played in Australia for a tiny bit as well. And then like when you come to a place here, it kind of allows you to like just help add to that culture, to an organization, to from your past experiences of what worked, what didn't work. And yeah, it's just nice to be like, say, like, I finally kind of found more of a home somewhere, to be kind of like concrete somewhere. So, and it's just to be part of this family. I think ultimately it's just like the part that I really love. Just like I get to be in this community, this family in Orlando, amazing fans, amazing organization here. And we're just growing so much. And it's awesome to be part of that, because like, obviously, like, Orlando didn't have the best reputation for a while, like with a lot of stuff that happened 2 years ago, with a lot of coaching changes,
with the coaching
and like
change, right? There was a lot of turnover.
A lot of people, a lot of people
yeah.
are coming out, and so
Totally.
I came here right when Seb just started his interim head coach, and so like I feel like I was here from the very beginning of our new era of Orlando Pride, where we're in now, and it's like something so special that's starting off, and it's like we're obviously at our high right now, but like we want to just keep breaking ceilings and just keep going higher. So I think just overall, just like I feel like I'm able to add to this culture, but like it's just great to just be so invited into this culture, and then we keep adding more people into this culture, and it's a great, amazing organization that has really like, we're bringing the best people, I think, to help bring this team together.
Well, and it seems like you talk about sort of that stability, the long-term ambitions of the club, and what Seb has sort of instilled in you guys as a full team. Talk about that defending. Again, the attack gets a lot of shine, rightfully so. I remember I saw you play for the US U23s in 2019. I remember, and you were on Megan Rapinoe during that Portland preseason tournament.
Yes.
I remember that, and I remember watching you play, and I was going like, that girl's going to have a long career, because the defense you were playing in that scrimmage was so good. What do you feel like, I think we've seen a number of teams have that success where the forward line is committed to full team defending. It's not just something that happens from the back line. How do you bring that part of your game to the forefront when you are, especially in those late game situations, trying to close out wins?
It's just a mindset. I think you really just have to like commit to, because like obviously like, no one likes to defend.
Right.
Defenders, kudos to you guys, because I freaking hate defending. So I just think it's just a mindset, because I'm going to do anything in my power to help my back line as much as I can, because they cover my butt so much. So if I could just do my extra sprint back to help recover a little bit, to make it easier for them as they're dealing with 80 other things happening on the field, I can never do it. So I think it's just like having that mindset, and just like always understanding that like it's a team sport. We all have to do things we don't like to do, and just what they do for me, I need to do my job for them and everything like that. But I do like to take pride in defensive work as much as I'm a forward, and people always want to say forwards don't do defensive work. I do as much as I can defensively.
I was going to say, I think the best forwards, especially in the NWSL, with how important pressing triggers and turnovers are, I think that the NWSL has some of the best defensive forwards in the entire world, in my opinion.
Yeah. And like Seb always talks about, like, hey, if we just win the ball higher up the field, it's a shorter distance to the goal. And like, even like if you think of like some of our goals, especially some of Barbara's goals, of like just high press, scare them a little bit. They're going to make a mistake, feed off those mistakes, and then she's just dribbling to goal. I'm like, yeah, that's the easiest goal. Her last one for LA, I was doing my defensive work as a right wing. She intercepts the ball. I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah, she's got it. It's just you and the goalkeeper.
She's too fast, and I can't get up there fast enough as much how fast I am. But I'm like, she's already in the 6. I'm like, just score, please. But like that defensive work right there and that effort gives you goals. That's why she's scoring 11 goals in 11 games, right? So like those little efforts really is important, but it's just also just like knowing to always have that mindset is important, because it feeds into every other aspect of your game, and just like that little minor detail in defensive work can make a huge difference later on.
Yep. I think that also allows, again, you talk about those little things that set the team up for success. We see the personality of the Pride every single week. There's so much personality on the team. Speaking of personality, though, this is a little bit of a pivot. I do want to talk a little bit about the offseason, which is the reality docuseries that you were part of filming in the offseason before this particular NWSL season, executive produced by Midge Purse. I thought the trailer dropped, as people might know, I think it was 2 weeks ago. There was a little bit, this is going into like reputation, perception, postseason, all of that stuff. There's a moment in that trailer where there's like a little bit of cross banter about like team perceptions, right? Or postseason or, success that people have. For you, I mean, first of all, I just wanted to ask, what was that experience like filming that? And did it feel like some of those moments were a good representation of kind of like pulling behind the curtain a little bit of what people don't see when players hang out like that together?
So I think what's so special about the offseason is just that how real it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of real conversations were in that household. First of all, we had Lola Bonta in there, so that it speaks high volumes to itself. We had Midge Purce in there. We have Taylor Smith in there, Anamanu, like Nikki. Like it's just like when you think about the personalities we had in that house and just the amount of like experience throughout that league, we've seen stuff. We've seen a lot of things. We have a lot of experiences throughout and different perspectives, I think is what the most important thing is. But obviously, like we're having fun, right? You see the fun part of everything. Like it's 12 girls living in a house. We're having a great time. Training was really fun. It was really detailed. And I can never like talk how highly I was loving the training there because I felt like it really did prep me really well for this season. But just the talking about how real like everything behind the scenes of just off the field stuff is actually, it was even blowing my mind what I was hearing because like holy crap, like I had no idea. Like I've been what, my 5th year in the league, and I didn't know half the stuff I was hearing or just like the backstory of so many other people. But we play each other every weekend, right? I see who you are on the field, but who are you off the field? I think is something that we really don't give credit to athletes of understanding like we're so much more than an athlete. Hi, I'm Allie Watt. I'm actually just like Allie. Like I'm not just a soccer player.
Totally.
And I think that this gives a great opportunity to just look into off the field, off the pitch of just who we are and just get to know us. Like I learned so many things about every single one of those players. Kelly Hubley loves to cook. I found out. Had no idea. She cooked us a meal. It was fire. Like it was so good. And like, oh, they were so much fun. But it's just, it gives such a real perspective of like life of just throughout our careers, but just like off the field and just the dramas that we all experience. And it's nice to like relate to other people about the whole entire thing, but we're all in this together. And I think this is going to be really special. I can't wait to see it because I only have seen the trailer as well.
I'm sure. Right. Yeah.
I only lived it. So I don't know what's going to be in it, but just there's so many raw, real conversations in that house. And I think that's what I'm really excited for people to see like what was being said in that house because it was so real. And that's what, like, it's reality TV, but it was so real.
Right. No, but it's not always, right? I mean, reality TV can be real, but it can also be a little bit like, you know, it just kind of depends on where everybody's at. But to make that sort of a bigger picture, I think, like, obviously this idea from Midge is so good. And it's cool to hear that the training itself was also really advantageous to everybody because it was such a cool mix of really talented players, even just in that group. You, again, having been in the league, again, maybe we'll just say sort of like post Challenge Cup 2020, moving into sort of this new era of the league with the rise of women's sports, which the NWSL, huge part of in this country. Does it feel like with every passing year, there are more of those opportunities to tell your story, to show that personality, to connect with fans in a way that maybe they didn't always have a chance to before?
Yeah, I think what's like, first of all, great to see how women's sport has been growing. I love it. But I think like that's something that I think fans really want. They want to connect with us because like obviously like they fall in love with the sport. They fall in love with their teams because they see how we are as soccer players. But when I just like know anytime I meet little fans, they just love to ask me questions about like life, like not even soccer, just like life. Like, oh my gosh, where do you get your nails done? Like, oh my gosh, where do you get your lashes done? Like, oh my gosh, you love like it's like little questions like that, or just like even when like what was like another one? It was just like, oh, like they like ask me, what's your favorite food? I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Like it was just like relatable questions. They just want to know who you are. Like you're obviously like we're all beasts on the field, right? But like I think it's just so nice and understand that they really want to just know who we are beyond that because we are beyond that. Every single athlete is something beyond their sport, and I think that's something we always struggle with, just like with identity crisis, right? Like what am I like? And that's something I really struggle with injury too. Like what am I without soccer? I was at a point where I couldn't walk. Like I had to relearn how to walk again. Like that was crazy. And just like reevaluating my identity, I'm just like, what am I? Who am I? And it's just like, that's I think also just like, but it's like a white elephant in the room. Like no one wants to talk about it though, because like it's just like awkward to talk about it, I guess. But it's like really shouldn't be one. You know what I mean? Like we're just all people. So like I think that's really awesome that we're starting to pivot towards the, like let's also get to know the athlete. Well, actually, like what's their name? Actually, not just an athlete. Like you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and again, I think that Orlando, that team and that the fan base that you guys are cultivating, it does have that community aspect to it. That's like always so clear from watching on the pitch. This is actually perfect. This is the perfect tee up for my last question, which is the question that I ask everybody. And the answer can be on the field. It can be off the field. It can be even bigger picture than just an NWSL season. But for you, such a good start to 2024, right? First 6 months of 2024 going so well for both you and the team. What does the perfect rest of the year look like for Allie Watt?
The perfect rest of this year. I want to score more goals. I want to produce more. I think as a forward, I underproduce, and that's really frustrating. But we're going. I'm still growing as a player a lot every single day. And so I think for going into this next half of the season, obviously just like continuously be embracing in my role, what I have with the team, whether it's subbing on, whether it's a starter. We have this Olympic period thing, right, of this tournament thing. So a lot of playing time there. We just got all of our Olympians getting announced going to Olympics. So that's super exciting. So just like continuously growing and just like always have a positive mindset, uplifting my teammates, grind, get out. Because like that's all we have to do. We have to keep grinding. We're only halfway through the season. We're not satisfied with where we are right now. We're losing we're not losing. We're second on the table because of not goal differential, not because of wins, not because of like whatever. It's because they are scoring more goals than us right now, and then we need to score goals. We're going to continuously be grinding to push score goals. The expectation for this team and for myself is for anybody in this league. We want to win championships. We are going to be so disappointed and never satisfied unless we're winning this trophy. The shield, the championship, and that's all we want. We're going to be grinding for that. But I just want to keep growing. I just want to keep having a fun time here in Orlando and just keep having a party. We're having a great party down here. We're always having fun. Marta always says it. No one else is having fun but us, and we're going to continuously go with that motto. Off-season, I don't know, read more books. I'm starting my 41st book. Like, I have a Kindle now. My Kindle's amazing. I love my Kindle. I'm going to try to read over 100 books this year maybe. I don't know. Random stuff like that. But honestly, just like, I think the most ultimate goal is just to stay happy. I think that's the mental health of like being happy, finding like your balance in life is also, I think, overlooked. So I think overall, just stay happy. But we're having a party down here, so how can you not be happy, fun, and being happy?
Amazing. Happy off the pitch, happy on the pitch. Just loving life in Orlando. Incredible. Thank you, Allie, so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.